Hello, I briefly want to give my initial impression of the Charachorder X, which I received yesterday in the mail. It's a device that sits between your keyboard, which you plug in here, and your computer, to which you plug this device in. And it allows you to press multiple keys at once, so-called chords, and then they get translated into longer words or sentences. The company offers multiple devices, but I'm mainly talking about the Charachorder X, which does work with every single keyboard, that can basically plug into USB. Just as one piece of information, I paid the price that you're seeing here, minus 10%, because with the newsletter you get 10% off, but I had to pay around 40 euros of shipping to the EU, plus around 40 euros import taxes and fees. So I end up, basically paying double of that. So just so that if you would also order to the EU, that's roughly what you can expect. Okay, going through my notes. Starting yesterday, which is again the day when I received the device. First of all, I guess it's important to say that the device already comes with built-in chords, so you can technically directly start typing. So like great is GRT. If you type it, you get great. But you briefly saw that the input of the chord GRT was put into this editor, got deleted and replaced by the word great. That's how it works at the moment. So the first drawback that I found, the chords can only be 4 characters long, plus the shift key, at least that's my experience. Previous to the device being received, I did create this list, of which I thought, hey, maybe let's think about a few chords that I can program as soon as I get the device, so that it's easier to get started, and likely not all of them, not all of the words are included. And that's obviously what is the case. So here you can see, for instance, 2 words that are somewhat similar, and that means that the chord should also look similar. It must not, but it or rather, I think it doesn't need to be similar, but it obviously for convenience reasons it usually is. So that's when you have to come up with maybe different variants that help you not have a collision in between chords. Coming back to my point, I was only able to create 4 character chords. If I press more than that, it doesn't register. So to record a chord, you press Enter and I. And if I were to now say terminate, which is the word I want to record, press Enter, and then it gives me a suggestion or whatever this is supposed to be of a chord that I can use for this. I hope, but I don't know, that this is, let's say, intelligently suggested, or suggested in an intelligent way, such that it will never suggest a chord that is already programmed. But what would happen is that you define whatever chord you want to input to get the output terminate in this case. And now I'm pressing ASDF. No, I'm not. Oh, sorry. Well, anyways, the point is, like in my case, I'm using ColMac-DH, which means that I have a different home row. So I'm pressing TSRA, which is the home row of ColMac-DH on the left-hand side. But so you can see that it basically is always the same. And if I press now another key, let's say I, it will never be more than 4 chords or 4 characters. But as you can see, I is now included TSR, and if I continuously press this, now I have a variant without an I, so that's a little bit disappointing that I can only have 4 characters. If I were to press Shift as well, I have now 5, but that only works for Shift. I think it doesn't work for space, but I don't want to try. So let's get back to this. I mean, potentially it's a problem with my keyboard, which I think I didn't show yet. I'm using the Kinesis Advantage 2 just for reference, but that's the limitation I'm running into. So I have to basically cut down a few chords that I intended to be longer. So some built-in chords seem to not make sense and are triggered without intention. So let's see if I type no, and I'm very quick because it's a 2-letter word, so that you can insert this word rather quickly. It gets converted to on. And this is a timing issue, obviously, but that would also mean that I need to probably delete this this macro or this chord so that it doesn't interfere with my normal writing. I don't know how to do this, which basically brings me to this point already, so I will cover the one above in a second. I would love to see an overview of the chords that I already programmed and are already included. It may be possible to do that with this .io, I don't know, website thing, but obviously I don't want to rely on a website just for these things. I would love to just access the USB device and see whatever is programmed there, which is actually the case for the keyboard Kinesis Advantage 2, where there's a mode in which the basically the space or the memory on this device can be mounted to your operating system, and then you can access and edit a configuration file. So I would expect something similar, but yeah, that's at least something I haven't figured out yet. And that also means I cannot delete it because there's no list that I can edit, basically. One thing that would also be very helpful, and that could be some kind of feedback or suggestion, again, I don't even know whether this doesn't exist yet, but in cases where you have multiple chords, the chords that themselves, they are basically, their order depend on, I guess, the speed of input, right? So if I press SIMT, which is sometimes in my case. If I press it like TMIS, that doesn't matter. It's still converted into sometimes. But if I have programmed this, it would be great to sort the chords alphabetically, but the whole, like each character of the chord, so that I have, I guess in this case it's IMST, if I'm correct. So that would be the alphabetical order of this character, because then it's more easy to compare whether there will be a collision when I have a similar word. In this case, obviously, I have chosen chords that don't collide, basically. But you can basically see that this is now the exact difference. There's only one character within a chord different to output two different words. Yeah, that's why a list would be great. The no space mode. Actually, what I found while researching, I found this video from an affiliate channel, seemingly, of Charachorder. What's happening here, the guy is programming in Python, and he's using the Charachorder 1 to type different words. So he typed def, which is a Python keyword, space, loop, and when he typed loop, he got space. Automatically, because that's the default how the Charachorder operates. It outputs the word plus space, which means the guy had to, wait, was it? Yeah, you may have not seen this because it went by rather quick, but he had to delete the space, and that is, for programming, is very terrible. I'm a programmer myself, so I really would love a mode where the space is not included by default. It may be that with the Charachorder 1 maybe there's a mode because it has tons of keys to press here, but yeah, I don't know. I think there's nothing like that with the Charachorder X, but I might be wrong. I didn't have the time to dig into that. Okay, let's close that. So today, the last part, which was rather annoying in the first place, because I was typing the following phrase, origin slash, and then I wanted to type the word release because I have a chord for this. And as you can see, I just typed it, but it replaced the complete previous word, origin slash, that I typed. This is it's part of a command that I was using, and having a chord inserted should never delete anything prior to that I intend to keep, obviously. So as you can see now it works. So maybe I have to pause a little bit, but I don't know. That's why I wrote sometimes, and I don't know the, let's say, condition when that happens and when it doesn't happen. There was one potential fix I could think of, because I may have seen this in a YouTube short or somewhere where somebody was asking a question and the founder was replying. The idea that could fix the problem is that when you type a chord, you can turn off the function where when you type the chord, you get the characters of that chord outputted before it gets replaced with the whole word. So GRT, you may have seen this very briefly before it got deleted and replaced by great. That can be turned off from what I know, meaning that the output would always be great despite you having just pressed the chord. And that may stop the problem that too much of a word, a sentence, or whatever phrase has been written already gets deleted. But yeah, that was pretty annoying, but I didn't test any fix of that yet. Yeah, these are just my initial thoughts. I hope to make a follow-up video where I may found a proper way to handle all my issues, all the issues that I'm having. In general, though, I really like the idea. I personally already backed the Charachorder Forge because I want to dive in completely into this new, let's say, paradigm of typing. But since I have so many keyboards already, I thought I would also benefit from such a USB device which I can connect to any keyboard I'm having. So I would have the flexibility and advantage of chording on every single keyboard that I'm using at that time. So I'm not regretting buying this device yet. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to improving my typing speeds with that, learning more about this whole thing, and eventually switch to the Charachorder Forge. Yes, that should be it. I hope that was helpful for anybody interested.